Welcome back, everyone, and we are back on Total War Attila with the 1212 AD mod. This is a 3 versus 3 in-house battle, and from what I understand, it's a spicy one. We've got a different sort of attack than usually seen on this kind of map, and let's just get right into it. Okay. So, starting off right here, pushing the siege ram, is Poland, being commanded by Pozgwin. Right next to him, we have the Duchy of Brabant, being commanded by Tidirand. He's the one who sent in this battle. Then finally, for the attackers, somewhere we've got Castile, being commanded by Billy Blazes. For the defenders, let's see, who all do we have here? I believe this is Trier, being commanded by Golden Expeer. We've got, where is everybody? I hate that in like the newer games, they don't give you the faction flags. You have Hungary being commanded by Knights Legion. And then somewhere over the rainbow, we have got the Ayyubid Sultanate being commanded by Meximu, or not so Mexi. He goes by many names. He's a man of many faces, many features. But he is the Mexi. The one and only Mexi. They call me Moo. Mexi Moo. Yeah, Mexi, you better be watching this video and hearing that introduction to yourself, because not everybody gets an intro like that. So, like I said earlier about this kind of a weird attack, a different kind of attack. Typically what we see on this settlement, so the final point is right here. We typically see an attack, mostly what I usually see is an attack on this corner and wall right here. You basically break into this corner. It allows you to get, archer shots on the defensive units that are trying to hold you back, and it typically gets you a pretty easy way into the settlement. But the attackers this time have decided to go a different route. They have decided to take on this one gate here on this corner of the settlement. Excuse me. Sorry, I burped. Now, the thing that could be interesting about this is that while they are going into a kind of a small, pretty heavily defensive spot, there's only a couple ways through this area, right? If they get through it, it puts them in a prime spot to get elevation over the defenders. So that could be very, very interesting. Sorry about that, I burped again. I'm pretty sure that you guys don't want to hear my burps, so that's why it sounds like I cut off right there. People, most of the time I'm pretty sure, it doesn't cut off too bad, but sometimes I guess I might accidentally hit the button. But whatever. Anyways, like I said, I think this could go for an interesting thing here with this added elevation, basically overlooking the capture point here. It also puts majority of the defending armies out of place, right? It basically turns the capture point into almost the front line. Well, that means that all of the reserve troops of the defenders have to be set back here because they don't have room to put them up this close to the front line. Otherwise, if they stack them up too much, they get hit by artillery, take massive losses. It's just very, very, very painful. So this could be really interesting to see how this goes. I've never seen anybody attack this settlement like this, and I'm very intrigued to see how it goes. As you can see, we already have a little bit of an archer fight here. I believe, let's see, we've got the Pavese crossbows of Castile taking on just regular, not regular archers. They are a hybrid infantry unit, so they're infantry that have bows. Typically, that means they don't have near as many arrows, so not as much ammunition. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. 24 ammo. Maybe they don't get less. Okay, they do a little bit less. Not as much less as I thought. You can see a regular archer unit gets 27 instead of the 24, but, I mean, 24 ammo seems pretty good to me. especially for a unit that can get kills from afar and then get kills close up, which is pretty handy. Okay, we got Trebs coming in. So who has the Trebuchet on the defender's side? I believe it's Knights Legion has the Trebuchet. So remember we were talking about how the defenders have to be careful about clumping up their units. The attackers have to be careful of the exact same thing here. The defenders do have Trebuchets that can lob right up over into this courtyard and get shot. Now, is that a mortar? That's the Culverin. I don't think the Culverin is what just shot there. Seems like they wouldn't be able to lob like that. Nope, great bombard. Maybe it was the Culverin. It seemed like a mighty high arcing shot for that Culverin. Oh, right there. There it is. I was about to say. Mortar. See, I told you. Rodeleros. They look very cool. Spanish units are honestly really, really cool. I like them a lot. I think that the Spanish factions can be a little bit tough to use. Some of their factions I know are a little bit incomplete. They're not quite done yet. And then some of them just honestly don't get some of the really good units that most factions do, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. We have Low Country Swordsmen going into combat against some Trier Pavis Spears. Yeah, take that. Or you got arrows coming in from the attackers on the outside. You basically have people with really big shields and sharp, short sticks versus people with really big shields and sharp, long sticks. But the attackers have the added support of the Lithuanian archers here. We got 17 kills and 5 kills. So honestly, not getting as good of a shot as I thought they would be getting. I think the defenders might be accidentally burning some of their own settlement here. Get Elector Pavis crossbows. Got 12 kills. Looks like they came up, into this little. They've got this little nook right here. You have this defensive spot here to the left, and then you have this defensive spot here. And they have their crossbows kind of up in this little nook. It's not a terrible idea. It gives them a little bit of a position that they can maybe put archers if they want to. Now we have another Trier Pavis Spearmen going up against more Low Country Swords. Now these Low Country Swords seem to have already had combat. They have 10 kills. The Pavis Spears are fresh. They have completely untouched. Medium melee infantry, 32 melee attack on them. You can see they're having to kind of protect this side. They've got actually quite a few troops here. A lot of dismounted junior knights. It's kind of a cool unit. I love the armor and the armor and arms of the attackers here. Not the attackers, but of the game as a whole. Sorry, I don't know why I said the attackers, but seriously, just this game is visually just so good. The modders have done such a good job with it. One thing I don't like about just Attila by itself, we do have handguns, by the way. We have a beautiful shot right up into that. They are getting hit by the Pavis crossbows, but they are Pavis handguns, so they're really tanky. Anyways, what I was going to say, one thing I'm not a fan of with Attila as a game is how dark the game is. It's visually just very, very dark. It's not going to look quite as dark for you guys because I do a little bit of color correction and some brightening of things in the editing process. But, just as right off the bat, it is quite a bit darker than, like, say, Rome 2 or even Shogun, I would say. Lithuanian archers still, well, one of them still really not much. Either of them. I've only gotten 1 kill since the last time we saw them. Treb's coming in still. How's the Treb doing? 43 kills, not bad. Oh, look, there's Cav! Whoa! Okay, Ayyubid Sultanate out here. So that's Mexi coming out with heavy hybrid shock Cav. He's got into the Culverin, which he's going to get rid of. And he might get the mortar. They are trying to run the mortar's crew away. I don't... Oh, man, I don't know what I miss more, the mortar or the culverin. The mortar at least has the lob effect. You know, you can lob shots up and over. Oh, man, they had Cav sitting here ready, you know, as well. But it seems they must have been so, you know, just, you know, they're zoned in, right? You know, it's a big attack. They're you know, commanding their units and doing this and microwing and, oh, gosh. Looks like they got a Pavis crossbow as well. That hurts quite a bit. So that's quite a bit of money from the culverin. The Pavis crossbows they might get back, but there's only 25 of them left. The Brabantian Knights were going to come back in, but I think he's holding off because he doesn't want to get hit by that Treb. Is that Treb seriously shooting all the way out here? Wow. Do they have another one? I think the rules, I think they can only have one. Yeah, so that must be... wow, that's a long shot, man. So, wow, guys, just what a play. Mexi coming in here. He's got 295 kills on this hybrid shock cav. And those are really solid kills, right? He gets the culverin. He really, really hurts this Pavis crossbow. He's got 20. He did come back, but only 24 men left. This one actually got hurt pretty bad too. 83 out of 130. The shock infantry took about 59 losses. Yeah, great play, great cap play. Treb coming in, bit of a long shot there. More volleys coming in. Unfortunately, nothing hitting there. The nice thing about those fire shots is when you see them coming, you have kind of a split second that you might be able to dodge a little bit of the volley if you kind of have an idea where it's going to land. But that Treb could be quite a pain. He's used a lot of ammo, though. He's got 57 kills, and he's probably, what, a third of his ammo left? He's kind of lobbing more into the corner, but once again, just not getting shots, man. To be perfectly honest with you, if I was him, I would have either had moved my Treb closer or held my ammo until the attackers had pushed further into the settlement. I think this is just a bit long of a shot that realistically it's just not getting him good worth out of those shots, right? They're just a little bit long, so the spread is huge, and there's just not enough here for him to hit. Yeah, I mean, that's just, yeah. It's a lot of wasted ammo, in my opinion. Irish Kythen? I think they're a Javi unit. Look at them running around in bare feet. Go on there. Go on. Still have a lot of troops left. King's Bodyguard from Castile back here. Still have dismounted Brabantian Knights. Another very cool unit. Look at that, like, hammer thing they've got. Hammer pole arm. So it looks like the Caballeros came over here to sit and basically make sure that another cav unit doesn't try to come out. I'm kind of intrigued if they're going to actually maybe attempt to come in on this side, and I actually think they are. They're bringing their Great Bombard over here, and they might have just enough ammo to blow down a wall and attack this section of the city. Once again, that could be a very interesting attack. Now, the Rodeleros of Castile have now taken over the attack here from Brabant. So you've got slightly better melee attack on these guys. They're kind of the same tier of infantry as what was in there before. Let's see, 32 to 33 melee damage, 43, 40. So yeah, the Rodeleros are just a little better as a whole. They're probably just a hair bit more expensive as well. You have the Trier Pavi Spearmen holding this side. And realistically, at the moment, I don't think the attackers are actually worried about that unit too much. You know, especially if they hit through here, this becomes a pointless place anyway. So, and really, they can't turn around. They can basically only guard where they are because they have a barricade right here behind them. So they're just stuck there. Does look like Brabant is going to send in a Low Country Sword, a hurt one, in to maybe take on... Well, no, I don't know what he's doing. I think he's trying to avoid the archer ammo. Got 30 kills, 56 kills. What else we got here? Not a whole lot yet. Alright, so they did land here. So I believe this is Poland, actually landed a unit here, and they kind of got obliterated. Wait, no. Something got obliterated here. I don't think Poland has the lions on their shields. Is that Trier? Do they have lions on their shields, or did another one of the attack? Who's got lions? It's either Trier or maybe it's Hungary. Which would mean that Hungary took a lot of losses there on the wall. I'm not sure. Somebody took a lot of losses up there on the wall. You know, we've started out, we've got Levy Spearmen from Poland on the walls here, and they're still trying to push this bombard over a little further. I don't believe they've taken any shots at the wall quite yet. Like I said, I'm pretty sure they have enough ammo they could probably take a wall down. Now, these units up here taking on this hilltop, they are getting shot pretty heavy from back there behind. They got the Elector Provis crossbows, got 60 kills, and they're just shooting right into the back of these guys. As well as you have the Mamalik Asaifia. It's one of those, they're the hybrid infantry units. And then Hungary with their archers, 71 kills, 74 kills. Not bad. Archers are kind of tough to get good kills in this game with archers. Recently, we've kind of input a rule that you can only bring like 1 to 2 crossbows, kind of depending on some other little things. So basically, you can bring like a crossbow and a handgun. But if you decide not to bring a handgun, you can bring 2 crossbows, if that makes sense. And it's kind of taken away a little bit of the... We were finding things really unbalanced, and I think that's something that I really appreciate, is that we continue to try and... the players, when I say we, you know, the players in the Discord and everything, continue to try and, take the game and change it into being as fair and even of a match as we can. You know, I've talked about it in other 12-12 replays that we had really bad problems for a long time where the games just weren't very fun because they were very slanted. You know, we started by, changing the money rules a little bit. Because there's a 5,000 gold difference between attack and defense in Attila. That's a huge amount of money. The Rome 2, I think it's $3,000. So 5,000 gold difference in Attila. So what we did is we started having the attackers leave 10% of their money on the table. So if we were playing 15,000 funds, they leave 1,500. If we were playing 20,000 funds, they would leave 2,000. And it did help kind of even things out a little bit. That's another thing we started. You used to play usually, I think, 1,500 or 1,750 or 17,500. And we increased it to 20,000 because it just allowed more complete armies on both sides, which was really handy. Thus, while on the attackers, making them leave a little more money on the table, once again, kind of even things out a little bit, because the game, by having it, 5,000 gold difference, it was just too much. It's way too much of a difference between attack and defense, and so you just end up with the attackers having so much more troops than the defenders. And it just is unfeasible, you know what I mean? But as we've, as they've played more and more, we've seen more progression with kind of tweaking rule types and things like that. Uh-oh. Or are they going to try to get this unit out of here, maybe? Looks like they're going to take him up the hill and surround this low country swordsman. So are the Rodaleros going to come in and try and hit them in the back? Because they have kind of pushed into an opening here. No, they're just going to cut off this spot. Because right now, if there was an opening here, the attackers have room. They could just walk right through here. I'm kind of surprised the attackers have not sent more units to this top. I think this is the place you really don't want to lose right now. It does also open up them to be able to take down this barricade now. So that is what they're doing, which is going to allow them to push here. Which I was waiting to see what they would do. Does not look like they're quite yet going to come defend this side. Now remember, we have to be careful over here. We got Cav outside again. Oh, man. Just amount of junior knights just getting smacked by some King's Bodyguard. And then you also have the Ayyubid Sultanate General here. So it's a Hungarian General, 51 kills. Ayyubid Sultanate, 232 kills. That's a big problem this one side, right? They kind of only brought a lot of infantry. They have some cav. They've got the Great Banner of Krakow, which is a really good cav unit. And then they have the King's Bodyguard from Poland. But they kind of left their infantry a bit exposed. And out in the open field, in 1212, cav is king. Cav is good enough in the settlement, let alone out in the open field with just infantry. So another good cav play there. If I was the attackers, I think I would be bringing both my cav units a bit, tighter to my formation. There's a lot of, open space out here. They are taking one of the Brabantian Knights and they're putting it over with this assault over here. I do think that this cav attack actually was very, very painful. They needed these units for this attack over here because they're trying to draw units away, which they have done. The Ayyubid Sultanate seems to be taking over this defense. Well, there's a couple Hungarian units, but as of right now, they are, still kind of focusing things here. By putting the Pavis Spear in this spot, it does allow them to, you can see they brought another unit forward. I still think they need to bring more. They should probably bring one of these Ayyubid units. They need something else up here to begin, to be ready to support this defense. Sorry, I was getting a drink there. So we have the Low Country Swordsman back into it now. This is a fresh unit-ish. They've taken some losses now. The Pavis Spear is down to a little under half health. He's got 68 kills. You got to remember that in 1212, your standard infantry units really aren't your big hitters. They're not really your killers, right? Typically, your killers in this game are going to be right here, your shock infantry. Shock infantry, think of them kind of like you would like for our Rome 2 players, if you think them like a Thracian noble, Thracian nobles would be what I consider a shock infantry. Very high charge bonus. They charge in, get a bunch of kills, you pull them out, and do it over again. That's the biggest use you can use these guys for. Typically what you'll do is you usually want to keep a unit kind of close right behind them to then be able to cycle them. I hate that I don't have markers in Attila. It pisses me off so much. I like using the markers to highlight where things are and the movements that they're using. But unfortunately, the trick to get the markers in Attila, the trick you use in Rome 2 does not work in Attila. It makes your game crash, which sucks, and I hate it. Because I hate just kind of using my mouse here because I feel like it's not as effective as a tool to kind of highlight where things are, where they're going, yada yada yada. The handguns are actually apparently getting some kills. I don't really know what they're able to shoot. Are they shooting at the guys on the wall? 111 out of 160. They have 55 kills. Yeah, I don't really know what they're shooting. Were they getting shots into these guys? Okay, so they have an opening now. So we do have some heavy axemen from Poland. They have the tools here that they need. They've brought more cavalry. Oh, well, yeah, kind of. They've got 3 units of cav over here. Over on the right. So they brought one. Where's the one cav? So they brought one of the cav units closer, but the Brabantian general is still over here. The Duke of Brabant. He's still kind of watching the flank. I think they're still kind of wary of further cav attempts from the defenders. So the Treb looks like he held. I haven't seen him shoot for a little while, so I think he was holding his ammo a little bit longer. This is a beautiful time to use your Treb. If he had the if he had saved his ammo more than he has, man, like he'd be sitting pretty. You know, there's tons of units in this area now that he could shoot, and look at what he's done now. In that brief time, he's gotten quite a few more kills. Ooh, yes. Oh yeah, there you go. Hoo hoo hoo. Oh man. Just imagine if you had saved your ammo further, longer, more. So they have their halberdiers kind of just watching the flank, but, they're almost getting to the point that they don't need to anymore. A lot of their archers and squishy units are moving back away from that, and most of their other infantry are now into the settlement. So they could probably, stop holding so many units to that flank. Use their cav mostly for that now. Sorry, I didn't mean to swing my camera that fast. Unfortunately, the mortar, 92 kills. I mean, it's not bad, but you definitely would want more than that. It would be really nice if they had their mortar right now. This would be a really good target for it. They are kind of, in a little bit of a fight here. They've got their Pavis crossbows taking on... Well, they're not even shooting them. So these infantry are actually just shooting straight at the shock infantry. Actually, I think that's the right call. The Pavis crossbows, you're not going to do that much damage to them, right? They have these massive shields, so they're really just not going to take very many hits. So they're kind of shooting over here, but I like this shot better. Dismounted, the shock infantry I think is a little bit more dangerous to you. Especially with the fact that you can't really hit those crossbows effectively. That's the biggest problem they've got right now. Got some cav moving, got the Elector Guard. That's the Trier General. They've got dismounted junior knights taking on regular swordsmen. Junior knights combat even, but they're hurt, so they're not going to be like this is a better unit, but they're going to be having trouble because it's a larger unit. Still have quite a bit left from. Well, I mean, this is kind of low, like soft core infantry, though. You know what I mean? They're kind of a light melee infantry with they're Javi infantry is what they are. But while they have numbers there, it's not a crazy difference. I mean, look at the numbers. They're almost dead even. The Allies are actually slightly under in numbers, but it's so close right now. That's one of the closest number counts I've seen in a long time on a 12-12 game. Usually you look up and there's like 1,000-man difference between the attackers and defenders. Shock infantry 174, 95 out of 140. It looks like they're going to take a low country swordsman and probably switch it out possibly. And honestly, I think they're kind of worried about this side because right now they don't have anything to stop this, right? The majority of the forces are concentrated onto this main defense. And over here, they've got all the tools they need to push through this without anything realistically there to stop them. They've got pole arms that they can set up to zone out the cavalry. They have shock infantry to kill the enemy infantry. They have archers that are out of ammo. They have handguns somewhere. Where did the handguns go? Did they take the handguns out of the... No, you didn't lose your handguns, did you? Oh, they're over here. I was like, what? Do they still have handguns with ammo? Well, quite a bit of ammo, 67 kills. There's a big fight happening up here. I forget that you can go up this wall to this little stairway right here. So you can see they've got their hybrid infantry up here trying to hold back this Bohemian infantry from Poland. But it doesn't look like Poland is going to be committing too much more to going up onto that wall. I wouldn't be surprised if they put their handguns up on the wall. Yep, there it is. Because then they can kind of start shooting up over the heads. Like, they could probably shoot these units over here if they wanted to, especially once they break through this unit. Got a swordsman that probably broke and came back. So we've got swordsman and Mushat al-Hakka. But the heavy axemen just kind of eating their way through that. These Lithuanian archers actually carry some pretty beastly shields there. They might do actually relatively okay in the combat. Low country swords, 20 kills. Oh, here we go. We got the heavy shock infantry from Hungary in now. Still getting shots from the hybrid infantry. 85 kills, 88 kills. It's not bad, especially given the fact that they haven't even gotten into combat yet. So they should be able to get, you know, a decent amount of kills between those two. Towers collapsed. Always hate that. Such a stupid mechanic in this game. So dumb. When you capture the towers, they collapse. Stupid. Hate it. Now, what happened? The swordsman unit from Hungary has actually been eating through these dismounted junior knights. Maybe maybe it looked like there was more than there actually was on there. It looked like there was a decent amount of units up on this wall, but now those handguns are actually in a really bad spot. The mercenary Bohemian infantry might need to get up on that wall to help finish off these Hungarian swords. Lots of cav moving over. We got Caballeros, King's Bodyguard. We have King's Bodyguard, so 2 units there. The Great Banner of Krakow. Inside the settlement, we actually have Brabantian Knights. They are unsupported. If they are not careful, I'm not sure I know why we're going to go into this combat. So he charges the Elector Guard. I believe the Elector Guard is... Oh, yeah, winning decisively. Oh. Oh, yeah. Look at the purple. They're like pink. Pink, purple, yellow, green, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure why this unit was committed over here. Possibly it was just to buy time for this polearm to get over here and get set up, but it just doesn't. I don't know that seems like it was a great move. Where did those units go? The cavalry that they brought over. Got the caballeros over here. The Duke of Brabant is still way off in the distance there. But they are pulling back from this side here. And that's where it's going to get interesting. Remember what we talked about early in the game of the elevation that this gives over the final cap point. This is where we're going to see it. Now, the Brabantian Knights actually, I don't know why the defenders are allowing this one cav unit to scare them away, to be perfectly honest with you. That's what's happening right now. This one unit that is outmatched by the defending generals here is chasing them away. You know, it's a bit odd, if you ask me. You should probably sit on this a little bit more so that it can cap and stop killing you. So we got more heavy axes going to come. They got to be careful. Got the Ayyubid general here that if he charges, the shock infantry is not going to do well there. I think he might. Oh, look! Oh! Great Banner of Krakow's in. The Great Banner of Krakow's in! It's a really good unit. The Great Banner of Krakow is a very good unit. If I remember correctly, Poland was famous for having this, like, I think they had, like, the Great Banner was this just massive flag that they carried into battle, if I remember correctly. I'm a little rusty. If we have anybody who's good with the Polish history or, you know, this time period with that kind of stuff, let me know. But I think, if I remember correctly, that's what it is. Got those Irish mercenaries going into combat, the jabby throwers. What are they fighting? They're just fighting with, like, little woodcutting axes, it looks like. Little, like, hatchets. Shock infantry charging downhill now. They're relatively healthy, 134 kills. They're taking on dismounted, Mushat al-Hakka that have 9 kills. Bounce power, still relatively even, but the man count is starting to change. Got about a 600-man difference between the two. This Cav unit is the Great Banner Krakow really causing problems. 289 kills. Some bitch snuck right in, didn't he? I think the Brabantian Knights are gone now, though. They've got the Great Banner surrounded, so there's really probably not a whole lot they're going to be able to do with it. They brought those other Cav units back to this, you know, original attack spot. So you have the Caballeros and the King's Bodyguard, and hopefully Tilly will remember his Duke at some point and bring him in. I think Titty, you know, Titty he just forgot him back there. It happens all the time. I know exactly, you know, how it goes. So we have the Hungarian king going over this way and the Polish king coming over this way. I think they might pull these guys out and charge. And the Electric Guard, where are they going to go? No, he's not. He's actually moving back that way. Where's the Great Banner of Krakow? He's starting to break. What are you, 305 kills? Very well done there by Poland. Here we go. We got some of the defending shock infantry now getting into the mix. So this is dismounted Elector's Guard, 61 out of... Oh, they're only a 70-man unit. I wonder if he knew that. Because I bet if he knew that, he probably wouldn't have brought them. Sometimes you got to pay attention. There's not very many of them, but there are the occasional units like this one that are only 70 men or 60 men or something like that. And they look really good. Their stats do, but when until you notice that there's only 70 of them. This isn't looking very good either. They look like they're just ready to break through over there. And they really don't have any more infantry. Everything is basically where they are. Honestly, I don't really get why they're continuing to defend out here, you know what I mean? I really think that they should be taking these units back to the point because that's where their greatest need is. You have 109 men. You've got 136 men. You've got 128 men. You know, you got like 400 men right there that could be defending the main point. Your Cav could be defending your main point. You got Caballeros, which are coming downhill and probably going to bust right through this ranged melee infantry here pretty quick. It's a shameful display. Well, you know what? You suck too. These heavy range melee infantry look like they're out of ammo. I think they are. These guys, the Pavis crossbows, seem to have a little bit of ammo. 103, 120, or wait, 148, excuse me. 128 on this one. So the crossbow's doing pretty good. Hungarian swordsmen holding, and then you got Mushat al-Halka waiting to go in. Low country swordsmen on the hill. Wouldn't be surprised if they put this pole arm in soon just to kind of push them out of the way. They're still holding over here. Once again, I guess I just don't understand. I don't get why we hold out here when your greatest need is over here. You know, you could hold in this spot, you know, in a tighter formation. Your generals, you know, I think you give these away and see if you can hit them in transition with your general. Because as you retreat, obviously they're going to want to pursue. You might be able to, you know, grab some opportunities with your general there and hit some exposed spots. Dismounted Elector's Guard, 54 kills. $149 kills on the crossbows. Sorry, I'm just kind of looking around here, getting a feel for where everything is, what's going on. Elector's Guard General coming back to the point. The Ayyubid Sultanate General getting hit by crossbows. Oh, I think that was that was him right there. And look, his unit immediately shattered too as soon as General died. He's pulling him back. You know, he's dead, but it's still, you know, a unit that's there. He can still use it. Look at all the city burning. Got the halberdiers taking on swords with a heavy axe infantry and reinforcement. Tabateria. So they just are, they're not shock infantry, but they're like mini shock infantry. They have big axes, two-handed. You know, they're made to hit people really hard. Shock infantry over here might be able to just do, well, it's pretty weak, 24 out of 160. They might want to just use these pole arms and just kind of push, 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 push. Bounce power is pretty heavy in the attackers. I think, you know, we're pretty close to the end here. And I hate to say it, it definitely is not looking good for the defenders. I think they probably should have given this hill back, you know, given it up a little bit earlier and, you know, fallen back their defense to a smaller choke point like here. You know, if you look at it, there's only a couple ways into this point. You got here, 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 and here. And they really tried to defend, extend it out quite a bit. Which, in my opinion, just kind of really puts your troops out of position. But, you know, it is what it is. I really enjoyed this attack. It's very, very different. You don't see things like this. And to be perfectly honest with you, it's usually because I would not think to attack this area. It's probably not a place I would suggest to attack. It's fun when it works, but it's really not fun when it doesn't work because it usually turns into a very grindy, you know, just mess that is no fun because you just sit there for, you know, forever just trying to grind through troop after troop after troop because it's just these tiny little spots, you know, there's only a couple ways through it. But I appreciate the attempt to do something different. And obviously it helps to pull it off. Caballeros, 278 kills. Did Titty ever remember his general? Looks like he did. Yay! The Duke of Brabant is here! Woo! He even got some kills. Look at that, 36 kills right there. He could probably charge and wipe this whole thing out. Just get this out of here and blast through these guys. Come on. There's the Hungarian King's Bodyguard. We've got the Polish King's Bodyguard coming in pursuit. There is the Axemen, the Tabateria here, and they're going to get a charge on them. And the Tabateria moved! Oh no! Shock Cav is already good enough, but to take your unit out of position, that hurts quite a bit. The Hungarian general, I think he's trying to kind of, you know, mimic this general and just kind of keep him in his sights type thing. But once again, that's not where they need them. They need them here. They could be cycle charging if they wanted to. They could cycle charge. They could have cycle charged this whole area again and again and again. The Duke of Brabant coming over here. I think he's going to come and finish off the swordsman from Hungary. Oh my god, you see that? Sent them flying. 66 kills. Hasn't lost any. Okay, I was about to say they didn't break. What the hell? I think he killed every single one. Wow. Are we going to get the generals to come fight? Come on. Come on. Do it. Do it. I think we're getting army losses. Yep. Army losses beginning to kick in here. And that is going to be it for this battle. A very fun one. I enjoyed this quite a bit. I hope you guys did as well. Let's go look at the players here. So for the attackers, it was a Pyrrhic victory. I don't personally think it was. We've got Billy Blazes as the Kingdom of Castile. Once it loads here. So why is it? There it is. I was like, what the hell? Let's see. Shock Infantry 202 is really good. His general really didn't see combat. Crossbows did pretty good. 116, 138, 424 on the Caballeros. Infantry did solid. Teddy as the Duchy of Brabant. We've got 103 on the general. His shock infantry both did really well. Infantry, solid for the most part, pretty good. Archers, 143, 112 on the Pavis crossbows. Pozgwin is the Duchy of Lesser Poland. We've got 342 and 102 on the shock infantry. Infantry, they did okay. These dismounted junior knights didn't do as good as I thought they probably would. The Lithuanian archers actually did really well. 163, 146. 317 on the Great Banner of Krakow. For the defenders, we have Golden Neck Spear as the Electorate of Trier. We've got, solid archers. The infantry, I think, the spears didn't do too hot. And the Trier sword infantry, it looks like they just kind of got overpowered. Crossbows did pretty good, 158, 173. Knights Legion, we've got Hungary. Infantry did actually pretty good here, 111, 101. Shock Infantry 139, 56, you probably want a little bit better there. King's Bodyguard didn't really get into combat until later. 142 on the Trebuchet. And finally, not so mexy as the Ayyubid Sultanate. The Cav play, man. 285 on the general's really good. 295 getting a Culverin, part of a mortar, and a bunch of crossbows. Very, very good. And then look at the hybrid infantry. 190, 139, 229, 133. Very, very well done there. Well, that is going to be it for today's battle. Thank you guys so much for joining. Don't forget that if you are new to this channel, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you guys next time.